Now, let's say we want to find a subset in data frames, right? So let's say, for example, we want to use the same approach as we have been using for vectors, right? So let's say this is our data frame, and if we specify, say, we want the temperatures in Fahrenheit. So here in this case, we only passed in blank subscript. Okay, so it has returned all the temperatures. However, if we say return from 1 up to 3, so it will first return the first three values of this column, right, which is 75, 86, and 83. Okay, we can also say use the negative, right, and say um, return all all of the elements of this column, but omit the omit the first, the second, and the three values. And if you run this, it has omitted all the first, the second, and the third elements of the column temperature in Fahrenheit. So if, for example, we were to use logical subscript, we can say weather, and we say based on this column, and we pass in a vector, and say false, true, true, and false. And if we run this, we can observe that it looks into this first column, say false, and say true, so we get 86, and then we get true, which is 83 and 83, and we get false, and it doesn't return that other one. Okay, of course, we usually generate the logical vector with logical statements that involve a particular vector. Say, for example, we want the temperatures where the value is greater than 85, right? So what you're gonna do is we're gonna specify weather and use a $sign, and we take this column and say we want to place a condition and say only returns us the temperatures that are greater than 85, and we get 86 and 87. This is going to be so much useful, especially when we're doing data cleaning. So now, let's say we were looking for the particular days when the weather in the temperature in Fahrenheit is greater than 85. So in order to do that, we are going to say weather. So I want the days, right? And now I'm going to say when weather, and then say temperature in Fahrenheit was greater than 85. So now this will return the days, right? And it will look into this condition and say return the days when the weather when the temperature in Fahrenheit is greater than 85. And as you observed from the outputs that we are getting a vector of these days when temperature in Fahrenheit is greater than 85.